What a lovely surprise. Welcome. Oishi, why don't you go downstairs and get the shopkeeper to make us a fresh pot of tea? I heard that you've been traveling all over the place recently. Oishin told you, didn't she? Don't worry, I'm quite all right. It's just the years gradually. As I grow older, I'm starting to find that with many things, I am still very much in good standing as the Tianshu today. Nevertheless,
how difficult is it to transfer the...
Oh, well, you see, the Tianshu is a rather unique position among the Liyue Qixing. Historically speaking, the Tianshu rarely appears in public. We stay behind the scenes, planning. We also want to keep any prospective Tianshu candidates free from influence by outside forces, so we tend to be as discreet. For these reasons, the incumbent Tianshu typically recommends their candidate of choice, and this is the...
So in other words, you pick someone, and then Lady Keqing, Lady Ningguang, and the other Qixing appoint them?
Correct. Unfortunately, due to my health, I won't be able to assess every candidate myself. Not to despair, however, because I found someone exceptionally capable to act on my behalf as assessment officer. In fact, I believe you recently became acquainted.
Oh? Who is it?
I'm heartbroken. I thought it might take you a little longer than this to...
It's Yelan!
Jackpot. Uncle Tian here asked fancy joining me. You'll be among the first to get to know the next Tianshu.
What do you think? Paimon thinks so too. It can't be a bad thing to be on good terms with a new Qixing, right?
All right then. Though, I gotta say, Uncle Tian, you say you're into behind-the-scenes planning? My work's of the covert variety too. Don't you think...
Huh? Yelan, you want to be...
I'm not opposed to the idea, but I suspect Ningguang wouldn't let you go very easily after how long you've been working together. So, how about this? If your investigation reveals that none of the other candidates are qualified for the position, I'll recommend you for the job.
Deal. Well, you guys take your time. Meet me on the first floor when you're ready. Until then, oh, and no need to pay for your tea. As the new owner of this one... You're all set?
Uncle Tian seems really worn down.
Yeah, it may sound harsh, but Uncle Tian is past his prime. So he's recommended 3 candidates. Their names are Qinwei is a wealthy entrepreneur. Mingbo works at the Liyue Ministry. Try to keep all that in mind. Of course, it doesn't really...
Qianwei, Mingbo, Jiyi.
Let's leave that until we get to Yuehai Pavilion. All right. Heads in the game, people. The stakes don't get much higher than a change in the Qixing. We can't afford to miss anything, no matter how small.
Got it. We'll keep our eyes wide.
My legs are getting sore. What is wrong with this assessment officer? This is a huge occasion and I don't even get a chair. I've dealt with all kinds of people in my time, but never.
Oh, I think it's fine.
That's called being complacent. If you're happy to just accept.
Oh, come on. That's just...
All right, you two. Let's not get into a big argument over that. Qianwei, that was a bit uncalled for. And Mingbo, cut him some slack. We've all been standing around. Look, how about this? There's no rule saying we're obliged to stand.
Fine. Ugh, they're not the best quality.
It looks like all 3 candidates have arrived. We'll meet them formally soon. I've split it into 2 stages. Current affairs and planning. In the first stage, candidates are required to submit a manifesto for Liyue's development. Writing a manifesto takes time, so I informed them of this requirement in advance. These are the reports they submit.
Wow. One of them is...
It's also worth mentioning a stipulation I gave them. Whoever is appointed, failing the occurrence of some cataclysmic event, they will not be permitted to change their plan. Therefore, these 3 piles of documents in front of us represent where each candidate stands on key. There's still some time. Have a skim through. I'll be waiting off to the side. Just let me know. Finished, huh?
Everyone took it.
Of course they did. And keep in mind, whoever gets in has to execute their... That's for me. We'll see the candidates now. Let's do one at a time.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh? So you 2 are the assessment officers, are you? I had assumed that given the great import of this situation, Lady Ningguang would perhaps be assessing us in person. I certainly hadn't imagined I'd be seeing 2 entirely unfamiliar faces. I trust you've read through my manifesto? I'd be more than happy to clarify any details you found difficult to...
Mind your tone, mister.
Relax. It wasn't intended as a personal slight against anyone in particular. I was simply stating a fact. Cloud Retainer? You know this Adeptus? With your sterling reputation, you must have a respectable level of erudition.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yes. Please introduce yourself.
I'm, Mingbo. I've worked there for, 9 years. I have 12 active cases at the moment. They should be concluded in, my current work is related to urban planning, and I'm also responsible for, auditing the accounts.
Is it just Paimon?
You know what? Let's leave the self-introduction there.
Oh, okay.
Hello. What would you like to know? You're here to assess me, so ask away and I'll answer your questions to the best of my ability.
Your manifesto is very wide in its scope, but you don't seem to be personally involved in many of the specific fields.
Very fair question. I completely understand where you're coming from. But I'm confident in my plan. I've visited many different places, talked to lots of people with... Of course, 2 different problems can be interconnected in very complicated ways. And you might reach 2 very contradictory conclusions depending...
How do you plan to determine whether you are right or wrong about your...
A great question. Well, I'd start by having my colleagues and the secretaries of the Yuehai Pavilion evaluate any proposals before implementation. Post-implementation, if it turned out that my judgment was to blame for poor results, I would take responsibility.
Nice answer.
like a great guy. Everything he said was thoughtful and logical and...
Here's my take on what we just... As you saw, Qianwei is highly knowledgeable. He proposes many excellent... But he is very proud and incredibly stubborn. Mingbo's plan is more thorough and more measured. You can tell he's... But he and Qianwei are otherwise polar opposites. Mingbo is not very articulate.
Perfect summary! Paimon couldn't agree...
Last but not least, Yi. His manifesto is full of pertinent details. The depth he goes into in each and every area means it can only be a product of painstaking work. But what really interests me is that many of his views happen to coincide with Uncle Tien's.
Great!
We'll see.
Go, Barbara, go! Go, Barbara, go!
I see.
All right, then let me ask this. The idea...
I didn't want to say anything when I gave you those three candidates have all studied under me. But Qianwei went on to focus on his business, and Mingbo has always been occupied with it.
Whoa!
Qianwei was referred to me by an old friend. Mingbo came to my attention in the course of my work. We first met while fishing. Gradually, Juri came from a poor family, and his parents died. He reminded me of a younger version of myself. So I started out giving him a few words of advice when we were out fishing and noticed quite. And now, all of a sudden, the young are growing up, and I am growing.
I don't know, Uncle Tien. You still seem in pretty good...
Oh, you. There's really no need to console.
Sounds like you sure...
Ooh, there's nothing quite like fishing to pass the time.
Fresh fish soup.
Doesn't it? Also, sometime when we've been fishing recently, Juri always brings some that flavor makes for a fond memory.
Ooh, can Paimon come next time too?
Let's get back to the matter at hand. Uncle Tien...
I appointed. Had you not asked me why Juri's ideas were so similar to this decision must be guided by what is fair and right. Remember.
Understood. Come on, let's go talk somewhere else.
Bye-bye, Uncle Tien. So, it's gonna be... His manifesto was written...
Easy. Let's not rush.
Huh? So...
No, nothing like that. The assessment itself is complete. The biggest no-no in intelligence work is to only get information from the person of interest themselves. The truth is almost always hidden beneath. For example, Wenyuan, Shanghua.
Yes?
Lady Yelan, what are your orders?
Ugh! Who are they? Where did they come from?
Did they scare you? These two are Wenyuan and Shanghua. They work for me. As my trusted assistants, they are always standing guard nearby. They also perform various assignments as required. Shanghua is a business expert who gets his information by trading. Wenyuan relies on word of mouth. And there's also Upei, who's not here right now.
That meathead must have been out there on sea surveillance for some time now. Is he all right?
Nothing can take that guy down. Certainly not a...
Shanghua, visit all the commerce guilds and look into Qianwei's background. Wenyuan, go to the Ministry of Civil Affairs and look through Mingbo's...
Yes, ma'am.
So what about Juri?
Juri. Well, obviously, as the most... Let's go to the docks first. Lots of people passing through there.
If we're looking for information, why don't we try talking to... He does business at the North Wharf.
That's actually...
Huh? What's Bulai doing here today?
Look, your asking price for this batch is just too high. I can't buy in at this.
Come on, hear me out. I'm telling you, I accidentally dropped one into a well, and even the water.
Even so.
All right. I'll let you in on a little secret. The boss of Second Life also wants to buy from me, but I haven't responded. If you won't take him, I'll just have to partner with them instead.
Okay, well, when you put it that way, I'll accept your asking price. I'll take all your stock. Don't sell a single one to Second Life. Oh, what are you doing here? And to be clear, these Sunsettias are mine.
Actually, we want to ask you about a guy called...
Juri? Yeah, I've heard a story about him. They say he was born into poverty. One of his neighbors was terribly rude to him all the time, but Juri never retaliated. And when his neighbor went bankrupt, he returned cruelty with kindness. Injustice with peace offerings. A gentleman of talent and character, and... how did I not notice him sooner?
He sounds like a decent man. We can...
Why are you asking about him anyway? Well then, in that case, the higher bidder takes the...
Where?
It's him, all right. Looks like he's chatting with Lean Long. Come on, try not to let him see you. We want the...
I'll just go and fetch an employment contract. And hey, don't try and cut me out of this. Hey!
I understand. Let's walk and talk. So, you were looking to buy a wineware set? Oh, now I can see that you're a connoisseur, so I won't bother trying to con you. I trust you understand our shop quite well?
The truth is, an old friend of mine, who likes to have a drink now and then, he fancies himself as a man of culture, but doesn't care for needless extravagance. So I thought I might buy him a set of high-quality fakes.
How very thoughtful of you. Leave it to me, then. Come and collect it at Shigu Antiques whenever is convenient.
Thank you very much, Miss Linlong.
It's my pleasure, Mr. Juri. These days, it's quite rare for someone of your standing to still keep up with their old friends. It's nice to see. I'll be sure to pick out a good set for you. You can count on me. Juri seems to get along really well with everyone. Are you satisfied now, Yelan?
We shouldn't jump to conclusions just yet.
Wait, you're not just trying...
Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. But hey, if you'll be able to try all the finest food for free.
We will? Well, come on! Off to...
One with a get here.
Right here. Right now. Right here.
The wharf is as busy as ever. I hear the anglers here sometimes sell their fish to the nearby.
Welcome. What would you like to buy today?
Sorry to interrupt. We're actually members of the. We've heard about this young man called Juri who's supposed to be a
Whoa! Yelan made up a whole fake identity without batting an eyelid.
Ah, yes, Juri. He's been making quite a name for himself recently. Apparently, he had a rather tough time growing up. How does that saying go? What doesn't kill you makes you strong.
Yeah, we think so too.
But I'm afraid your Anglers Association might be in.
Huh? Why is that?
He's good at a lot of things, but fishing isn't one of them. He fishes at the wharf and sells what he catches to me on occasion. His catches are always mediocre. Not terrible, but equally not.
That sounds fantastic. I've got a.
Sure thing. See?
Everywhere they go, they meet someone who's heard of him. Come on, let's keep asking around.
Here to buy some fish? It's 300 for one or 3 for 1,000. You better hurry. When they're gone, they're gone.
Hello, we're from the Society for Fish Price Research. We'd just like to ask a few questions.
Wow, she switched identity again.
Society for Fish Price Research?
Please, don't worry. We're just here to conduct a. We've heard about a certain Juri who's been selling fresh fish.
So this isn't about me. You should have said. I haven't heard anything about him selling fresh fish at low prices, but it wouldn't surprise.
Oh? Why is that?
Because he's so poor. His parents died when he was very young, and his alcohol. He was still a kid when he first came to the wharf. His clothes were ragged, and he managed to survive. Thanks to Uncle Tien. I mean, he can afford to eat and everything, but you'll often see him haggling with others. It's not like he catches much anyway, so...
You'd rather he didn't know?
Well, I spoke to him once, briefly, and I think he has pretty low self-esteem. But hey, it's hardly my place to say anything. What he's achieved already puts most people to shame. But nobody's perfect. I just wouldn't...
I see. Well, thank you for sharing that with us.
Not a problem. And just for the record.
The more times you say it, the less...
Doesn't have a lot of...
Hey, it's you guys! Wait, what's the phrase? Oh yeah. honored to meet you. What brings you to me?
The truth is, we are but newcomers to this territory. We heard tell of a great martial artist, Master Dugu, who knows everything there is to know. Hence, we sought you out to ask for your guidance.
Really? People said I know everything there is to know?
But of course, we also heard that Master Dugu is a kind and virtuous swordsman who never turns away anyone who comes with questions.
Great! So what do you wish to know? Nothing happens on this street that I don't know about.
Now she's lying to a kid.
So, Master Dugu, have you heard of one by the name of Jur-E?
Sure have. You mean that guy that all the... I've heard many tales of Jury. Probably because it's nothing that important.
Oh, I can completely understand that.
Oh yeah, I know that. Before that, people always used to talk about Jury. Sometimes he gives me candies, so
Just as I thought.
Huh? What do you...
I mean, just as I thought, Master...
I'm not that Oh yeah, one other thing. These days, there's a lot of...
Oh, definitely.
Great! So next time I see them, I'll say hi. And...
Certainly. You can also tell my friend in Yenshang Tea House about what they're up to.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Well then.
Until we meet again.
Any of that sound strange to you?
Strange? What was strange about it? Ji seems to have a great reputation. Uncle Soon and Uncle Gao spoke highly of him, and Dugu...
True. But the issue is, where did his sudden...
Sudden? Too good to be true?
So he returns cruelty with kindness, and had to work to support his studies. These are the kinds of things that make someone well known in their hometown. But Uncle Soon said even his friends who travel... Do you remember what Dugu Shuo said about Jur-E's stories? Clearly they left him with a good impression of the guy. Plus, there's the fact that all this praise of Jur-E, his childhood, his studies, the thing with his neighbor, none of...
When you put it like that...
Of course, if that's all there was to it, I wouldn't look in. Jur-E was born into a poor family. Paying people to get his stories out there is within the rules of the game. The problem is, do you remember what Uncle Gao said about him? He's stayed poor his whole life. Everything he's earned he's either spent on studying, traveling, or paying off debts. Right. And that changes everything. It can mean that's the worst case scenario. But all too often, the most...
Someone's trying to gain influence over the Qixing? Even if we ask Jiri about it...
First, we need to find out who's supporting him. Remember the current affairs and planning stage of the assessment? Since the successful candidate is duty-bound to implement their plan after taking office, their manifest... Whoever is secretly helping Jur-E must be seeking to benefit from his actions after his... Come on, let's get back... Jur-E's manifesto covers a huge range of topics. I'll divide the reports into 2 piles. You take one, I'll take... Officially, the assessment is already over, and I'll be expected to announce the results before long. So we have to get to the bottom of this as quickly as we can.
Yikes! We better hurry!
Whatever else Uncle Tian might think of Jur-E, the fact remains any evidence he's left is not going to be immediately obvious.
Even though Yelan took half, well, we gotta start some... is giving. Let's.
Looks like I'm the first one back, as usual.
Oh, hey! It's one of Yelan's little helpers, Shanghua. If you're back, that means.
You betcha. I visited all the commerce guilds and gathered a wealth of information. Every time they asked me.
Don't drag this out. Just.
Yes, Lady Yelan. To summarize my findings, most people who've had interactions with Qianwei will start out. The young master of the Feiyun Commerce Guild said that Qianwei appears once he signs a contract with somebody, he treats them fairly regardless.
Who'd have thought?
Is it possible that his reputation is fake? Is there any.
In theory, that should be very difficult. But here's the thing. Where he buys from and sells to should be confidential business information. Qianwei often sees business opportunities that others don't, but once he's made enough mora off of it, it's like he gets sick of it and releases all of his trade secrets. It's like he wants people to know that they still can't beat him, even if he shares all of his secrets. The fact that someone like—
What a strange guy. It's like he's not—
To validate his theories. No wonder his manifesto contains so many
I'm back! Huh?
Why do you think? Obviously, because I possess superior skills, and am always
You... Ugh, whatever. I'm not getting into an argument with you. If I hadn't had something else to take care of on the— Lady Yelan, I have finished investigating—
Well, we're all ears.
The Ministry of Civil Affairs says that Mingbua struggles to get his words out, but after a few days of getting to know him, you can pretty much have a normal conversation with him.
In your opinion, was the Ministry of Civil Affairs—
I don't believe so. Mingbua is someone who, according to Miss Yu, the ministry often gets Mingbua to take a final look at projects before they're implemented. People feel much— Oh, and also, there was once someone in the ministry who was lying and cheating to try to advance their career. Mingbua gave them the scolding—
Whoa.
Like I said before.
Ah! So that's what—
Thank you both. You're free to go now. So, have you finished I can't see any immediate. The only one that strikes me as a little unusual. The Qiangshu Pool has always been home to many secrets. Plus, Ajdaha once wrought havoc there, so there are even more secrets. At some point, a rumor began to go around that there is— A long time ago, with the approval of the Qixing.
So, did they find any treasure?
None. The ruin was completely impenetrable. The only way they could have— The technology wasn't mature enough at that time, so the excavation project was shut down, and Zhiyi's manifesto focuses on solving problems. And this treasure hunt— Still, this one fact alone doesn't tell us much. Everyone wants to get their hands on this Did you find it?
Excavation? Project? Treasure? Did we read anything similar? Oh yeah! Zhiyi said the Blackcliff Forge—
Did he now? Well, that makes everything much clearer.
Does that mean the Blackcliff Forge is Zhiyi's secret supporter?
No, not likely. I've looked into the Blackcliff Forge before. They do possess some specialized explosives, but it would seem more trouble still, since the clues are pointing toward the Blackcliff Forge.
Qianwei and Mingbua both turned out to be completely different than what we thought. What about Zhiyi?
This is the Blackcliff Forge. Let's look around for clues.
Excuse me?
I don't think we're going to get anywhere asking questions.
What's this?
From the back, it looks like a ledger. But it seems they also— We don't know who wrote it, but it's
You think there's—
Yes. Look, it says right— At this rate, by the time the Qingshu Pool redevelop, that'll give them the chance to take a lot of liberties. They can copy any— Imagine if we didn't suspect anything. By the time Jur-E recommends the Blackcliff Forge for the no red flags if all they did was change some key staff. And even if we decided to vet the staff that's the advantage of planning this far in advance.
When you put it like that, it all makes sense. If we... So, who's...
That's a question for the newcomers. But let's start with that.
Excuse us.
I gotta say, these newcomers are in tip-top. My only complaint is that they're always I guess they just need some time to adjust.
They go out drinking. This area isn't a...
You got that right. They tell me they go... It rained after work today, so they actually stuck around at the site for a while. Hey, you're only young once, right? I say, if they can
Interesting. Let's go... Looks like our hunch was on the Mora, drinking in Liyue Harbor, huh? Some good thing it rained today. It means they'll leave footprints.
They went that way! Hurry, we gotta catch up! These footprints are heading towards Liyue Harbor. Maybe we were wrong about them.
Just as I thought. They didn't go to Liyue Harbor. They went that way. The footprints stop, but, judging from the direction, I'm guessing their destination was Looks like we were too late. This has gotta be where the newcomers rendezvous with whoever they're working for. Look at these ashes. Someone was burning dock.
Could there be anything left? Maybe the wind could...
The odds of that are very slim. It's practically impossible.
Why don't we wait for them back at the Blackcliff Forge?
We can't count on that. Clearly they were based here at one point. To me, that says that whoever's behind this...
Darn!
Make no mistake. The purpose of our trip wasn't to find any solid evidence. I smelled something Those newcomers probably thought they'd be safe as long as they burned the letters. But what they failed to consider...
Really?
There is a certain place with a freezing cold climate, where there's nothing but ice as far as the eye can see. Some wealthy people there put floral fragrance in their ink. When that fragrant ink is burned, this is exactly... The evidence will soon be blown away by the wind, so it's nothing but it's all I need. Now I know who we're dealing with.
Lady Yelan! Oh, thank goodness I finally found you. I thought I'd never see you again.
Don't be alarmed. This is Upei. He's Wenyuan and Shanghua's colleague. I sent him to look into Jur-E's regular contacts. Since Jur-E likes fishing, Upei thought he might know some of the fishermen and... I left him a note at Yanshang Tea House telling him to look for me at Blackcliff Forge when he got back. If there'd been an... So, what did you find out at sea?
Forgive my incompetence. I asked all the fishermen multiple times, but none of them had any interactions with Jur-E before. Then the waves... When I got back, I heard that you'd gone to Blackcliff Forge and might need backup, so I went straight there...
Well, Uncle Tian said that Jur-E once bought a...
What? No, that's not possible. It's absolutely not possible. Lady Yelan...
Interesting. Then I wonder how that
Fish soup? What
Nothing. Our priority right now is to find a way to get... Well, any suggestions? Not a bad idea. Upei, what do you think?
Honestly, I've already tried following Jur-E, but the guy's...
Okay, so tailing's that.
No, we'll still need to tail him.
Groundwork?
When you've worked in intelligence for a long time, you'll understand that no one can stay on high alert forever. Tomorrow morning, I'll announce his victory at Yuehai Pavilion. Be sure to arrive on time. You won't want to miss. It looks like we're all here. Well then, I won't drone on about the importance of the Tianshu role. Suffice to say that Uncle...
All of us here know the score. Don't beat around the bush.
Qianwei has many pioneering... Mingbo is reliable, but not quite In contrast, Zhi is after much consideration. I have decided...
What?
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Honestly, I'm a little in my estimation, all three of us are worthy candidates for the team. Would either of you entertain the possibility of working with me?
I'll have to see. I'm in a bed.
I don't mind. As long as...
Okay, well, that's all from me. Zhi, you'll have some preparation to do.
I will live up to the Tianshu name. I should go. I need to pack my things, and then I think...
Count me out. I'm not in the mood for a celebration.
Zhi seems pretty relaxed now. This would be a good...
Hey, traveler. Tell me something. What exactly does... If you can't answer that, I'm not accepting this...
I, also wouldn't mind...
Oh no, if we get stuck here...
Follow him.
Yes, ma'am.
We finally got rid of them.
Lady Yelan, Zhi has gone towards Feiyu...
Follow him, quickly.
So Zhi really sided with the... But Uncle Tian thinks so highly of him. Why would he do this?
Difficult to say, but everything should become a lot clearer when we find him.
Sorry, Lady Yelan. He's too good at this. We weren't able to keep
How the heck did he manage to I guess Zhi didn't let us guard...
No, Upe says he's much more relaxed than usual. Maybe it's just how he's
What?
Don't blame yourselves. Let's not forget he was trained by Uncle Tian himself. If I'd asked you to tail Uncle Tian, you'd have ended up at a dead end too.
Shinyue Kiosk. He only went in briefly. Upe and I were watching out. A few moments later, a man dressed in a completely different outfit came out. Upe had a feeling that it was him. I figured that if we spooked him, it would undo what we've accomplished today so far. Another option. So I stopped Upe, and I stayed here to wait for you while that meathead went to ask around.
Good work. The fish didn't take the bait, but that's okay. As long as he's still swimming around, we'll find a way to catch him eventually. The key is figuring out what... Let's go to Shinyue Kiosk.
Could you explain to me how that works? A guy like him comes in, changes his whole outfit right under your...
Our customers are free to dress however they please.
Okay, fair enough, but didn't you think it was just...
Well, maybe I did, but it still doesn't give me the right to stop him.
Enough. Let's tone this down a little. I'll make this quick. Just one question.
Oh, he didn't buy anything. He just picked up.
A bottle of liquor?
Yes, a very strong kind. Fiery. This gentleman ordered it in person from us a long time ago.
Liquor. And wine.
Where to?
Shigu Antiques. Hey, Miss Linlong. Sorry to bother you. Zhi ordered a wanware. We're friends of his. He's been telling us how impressed he is with the...
Sure. Which model are you looking?
We don't really know a whole lot about wineware. Let's just go with Zhi's choice.
Zhi picked up his set not long ago as a quality imitation of an antique wineware set. Just so you're aware, we don't have many of this model left in stock. And now that Mr. Zhi has taken...
Don't worry. Price shouldn't be an issue. I'm sure we can work something out. But I'm just a...
For this set, the wine glasses are sold separately. Minimum purchase is 1 glass.
Okay. Thanks, Linlong. Seems there's a little more to buying wineware than I first thought.
Well, don't take too long. We could sell out and...
This is turning into a real headache.
I'd just like to point out that we have the self-professed Grand Master of...
It's not like you did any...
My specialty is information trading, okay? I don't have the...
Yelan. Oh, if we can't figure out where Jerry went, there's not much we...
If so, it's no...
What do you mean?
First of all, Zhi isn't much of a drinker. On some level, if he was just looking to celebrate by himself, he wouldn't spend his... No. This is a victory feast. Whoever this person is clearly enjoys hard liquor and has a very... Now, where might we find Fatui who...
Fatui officials.
Have both locations surrounded.
Lady Yelan, is it time for us to make our...
Get with the program, would you? This is a covert surveillance, in which case, we don't need to change...
Great idea! So we just need to find out...
But Lady Yelan, if we get caught...
I'm well aware. But don't you see? Zhi is gambling everything on this. Stick to your orders, and make sure we're covering all other bases too. Anywhere else Zhi might be going.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't worry, Lady Yelan. Zhi may be a slippery character, but we'll keep a close watch on the movements of all...
I'll be waiting for you at the tea house. If I'm guessing correctly, Fatui officials are likely to take action at night. You should go and get ready.